The PAMU Slide 2. Let's open the box and see what's inside. Dave Taylor here, and I've got my hands on the PADMATE PAMU Slide 2 ANC Bluetooth earbuds. Now, the PAMU Slide I originally reviewed, and they had a huge hit on their hands with that. They raised over $6 million on INDIEGOGO for those earbuds, and these are improvements in so many ways. Significantly bigger drivers, ANC, there is a dual connectability, there's vocal enhancement, there's an app now that you can pair with to control everything. Pretty darn sweet. So let's open this box and see what's inside. Now, as always, you need to cut the tape, and then we will hope it's not so tightly fixed that, great. So some of these boxes are not very easy to open because they have such tight measurements. Now, here we have it, and it's a pretty sweet device. How do you open it? You slide it, hence the name, the PAMU Slide 2, and I just want to show you right off the bat, I am unboxing it, but I have sneak previewed a couple of the features and stuff. So I have this wireless charging base from OtterBox, and when you put this on, it wirelessly charges. Hopefully that's working. And it has a really cool display. I really like what they call the breathing light there. And it is pretty slick, a way of showing you that it's charging or that it's fully charged or showing you your battery status. So that is one of my favorite features already. Now, let me open it up, pull one out, give you a close-up, and tell you a little bit about it. So you can see it has a design where this part of the unit is actually going to be pointing towards your mouth. So in other words, this is going to go in like this, and it's already paired with my phone, and I'm already playing some music. We'll get back to that. Like I said, I kind of cheated a little bit on this unboxing, but the drivers, much bigger. These are 10mm Pen Plus titanium compound membrane drivers, and they sound really good. It's a big, rich sound. They support AAC to give you the best possible sound off of your iPhone, and SBC. Bluetooth 5.2 means they never lose their pairing and connectivity. They're super easy to work with. They pair lightning fast. And like I said, they have dual connect multi-point pairing. So you can pair these with your phone and your computer and then just switch which one's pushing audio to it, and it works great. Now, one of the other interesting things they have is they now have a low latency game mode. So you'll have to go into the app to actually set that, and I'll show you the app in just a second. But it actually means that you can use these for gaming without worrying that you're like a second or almost a second and a half behind what's actually going on in the game, because that is not good when someone's sneaking up behind you. More interesting to me is they also have a vocal enhancement mode in the app, which means if you have the tiniest bit of difficulty hearing voices over background noise, this kind of device now can actually help you with that. How cool is that? It's also a hybrid ANC with an impressive up to 42 decibels of noise reduction on both the low rumbly sound and the high hissing sounds. And we live in noisy environments. We rarely take time to acknowledge that, but there's a lot going on around us. Let's see, voice background noise canceling when you're on the phone, auto pairing, IPX4 sweat resistant, and I will say that they are famous for having them stay in your ear because of their design, and this one's no different. I mean, it doesn't loosen up or anything, regardless of what craziness I do and move around. I mowed the lawn, I did all sorts of stuff, and they are just in your ear and they just stay there, and that's very pleasant. Now, since it is an unboxing, let me show you some other stuff. In the box is obviously this and the charging base. And in fact, why don't we just let it charge? So we'll let it sit there and charge while I show you what else is in the box. Let's see. There's this insert, very exciting. And then underneath that is a big envelope. So I don't actually know what's in this because I haven't looked yet, but let's pop it open and let's see. So maybe from this end. more stuff in here. Maybe that comes out from this end. There we go. Okay. So now this, I'm going to guess, is different size ear tips. I think we have a winner. Some of these are really hard to work with. There we go. Okay, so it includes 4 different sizes of ear tips plus the ones that are already on the unit for a total of 5 different sizes. It is super important to take the time and get the right size ear tips on these sort of units. That will make a significant difference, particularly with both the bass and the active noise canceling. Get a good seal. Don't just go to the largest one, but take a few minutes and experiment with different sizes. Now, it also has this nice sort of faux leather carrying case. I'm not sure who would use this, but I guess they have that as an option. And a tiny charging cable with USB-C on one end and USB-A, the rectangle, on the other end. So if you don't have access to wireless charging, then you can use a cable and you can charge that way. So either way, if you're going to plug it in, it's on the back, USB-C, super easy to work with. And there are instructions. Let's see. Okay, that's pretty big. That's a lot of instructions, but it's not actually that complicated. It's in a lot of different languages. So if you are a polyglot and read and speak 10 different languages, this is going to keep you busy seeing if they get everything right and exactly the same in every different language. Otherwise, you can just use this and you can, let's see, you can see there's a tiny little cheat sheet, for example, on the different button taps. And one thing I should mention is that the ends of the ear tips actually are little tiny touch sensitive pads. So taps and slides and different motions actually do different things. Now, that's everything in the box. So we have achieved and attained our unboxing, instructions, little carrying bag, different size ear tips, and a charging cable, along with a decent amount of cardboard, all of which feels recyclable, which is good. I think that's important. And so we come back to the actual earbuds themselves. Now, I will also tell you that they have 6 hours of playback time, and they have 4 more charges in the case. So you put them in, and they'll charge 4 more times, giving you a total of about 26 hours. Now, 2 things affect that. Number 1, ANC costs energy. So if you want to have your ANC on and dialed up, and we'll get to the app in a second, I'll show you that, then it's going to use a little more battery life. And 2, if you turn the volume all the way up, if you're one of these people that likes really, really, really loud music, then you're going to find you get less battery life than if you just turned it down like 20% or something. That's sometimes can be significant. I haven't done battery tests on this unit to tell you how this works in that regard, but I'm sure loud ANC on is going to have less battery life than a more mid-range volume, either without ANC or without ANC being dialed up to its maximum capability. So, having said all of that, I'm going to go ahead and put them in my ears, and it is symmetric to when you're looking at it. So the right-hand side goes in the right ear, and it's already paired and ready to use. And ditto the left one, ready to roll. So now let's get that app. So this is a whole new innovation for PADMATE. So it's kind of fun to see them expanding out. So here's the app. And I haven't yet paired it, so let's go ahead and pair the unit in the app. So connect, oops, let's choose that, and now connect. Hopefully it'll work. Bluetooth pairing request. And here we go. So you can see I have wind pass-through reduction. Now I've turned on ANC. And I have 2 ANC modes where I can use mode A or mode B. I think that affects what happens when I tap and hold. I have advanced settings, so I can change EQ settings. That's new. I'll stick with pop. And game mode and vocal enhancement. And I can check for a firmware update. Almost always when I get a unit out of the box, there's a firmware update available. Let's see. Oh, look at that. They got that covered. Well done. And personal settings, So this is great. It's a complicated way to show me this information, but I can decide what I want to have happen when I do left versus right, tap versus double tap, press and hold. All of these different gestures, I can assign them to specific things, or of course I can just turn them off and just say, I don't really want any of that stuff. That just makes me very confused, and then I get anxious about touching to, like, set them more properly in my ear or something. So that's pretty much everything, and I can rename my device on my phone if I want, and I can also see that it is fully charged. I got left and right at 100%, so pretty sweet actually, very well done. These apps don't need to be particularly complicated, but I like that they just have a nice, elegant solution, which brings us to the sound. And I will tell you, take these out and show you. These sound really good. One of the things I really liked about the original PAMU Slide was that it had really good sound, and they've upped the sound on this one. I was listening, because of Stranger Things, I was listening to some Kate Bush. Now I have to admit, I've been listening to Kate Bush since the 1980s, so I way predate Stranger Things. Love Bush, love her to death. Great stuff. I was listening to some Kate Bush, and boy, this makes her sound really good. It's a really nice, rich sound with a big sound stage. It's not a huge sound stage, but it's a very listenable, kind of a more intimate sound. The highs are sweet. The lows, you have that nice bass line on songs that have a bass line, and it's just a very enjoyable listening experience. Combined with that ANC, it's really nice. There's a lot to like about these. Now, there's not much else I have to tell you about these, other than they are a pretty sweet solution. And I think PADMATE, again, has some really trend-setting earbuds here. They do a good job. So we should talk about colors. I wish I could talk about price. We don't have a price set for these yet, but once we do, I'll go ahead and add that into the description. But before I talk about colors and such, let me ask if you could subscribe to my channel. Click or tap on that subscribe button and turn on notifications, and we're connected. Cool. Now this is the PADMATE PAMU Slide 2 ANC Bluetooth earbuds, and they will be available in black and white and green. And you can learn more at padmatetech.com. And in terms of pricing, I'm going to guess they're going to be somewhere around $230, $240. I'm just taking a shot in the dark there. I don't know. They might be less expensive. They might be more expensive. But in any case, you can definitely learn more about their pricing and pick up a pair for yourself when they're available at padmatetech.com. And with that out of the way, I have to admit, I am going to go back to Kate Bush because I want to hear her singing about running up that hill. So I'll catch you in my next video.